I can feel the sweet wind blowing through the valleys and the hills. I can feel...
Howdy, this is Maine at Stanley with Maine Woods and Waters. And today we're up feeding the mosquitoes in Holton on a bear hunt. Warning, on this show I will be harvesting a black bear with my black powder rifle. If this offends you, please change the channel.
For bears that I know for sure that have been on that bait, we had a sow and a cub like 2 weeks ago that moved into it, and they were feeding there for 2 weeks. And then we had about a 230 to 240 pound bear come in, and when he moved in, it kind of pushed the sows and 2 cubs off, so we know it's a male. And now this track today is a new track. It's, I'm going to say, it's in the vicinity of 300 pounds. It was just shy of, like you were saying earlier on that, it was just shy of a $20 bill, which is 6 inches. Decent sized bear. It's hard to say when the bigger bear was there. He might have been there after the other one's already ate, or if the bigger bear is actually the one that cleaned the pail out. The other smaller bears now it would be kind of a race to see who can get the bait first. When you bait, the reason I don't use like 55-gallon drums is if you fill a 55-gallon drum up, the bears can come whenever they want and get the food. I use a 5-gallon pail, and the littler bears will race the bigger bears to the buckets, and normally you'll see 2 or 3 bears on each bait.
Now, if the big bear they're going to know that the smaller bear are doing that.
Yeah.
So they're going to hurry to get there to drive them off, I would assume. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what it always boils down to. And it's kind of funny because people will say, well, don't the little bears just come earlier and earlier? Well, they do to a point to where they feel comfortable coming in, and then normally the big bears will get it timed down, and you'll see two at a bait at a time, or chase the little one off. I like raccoons on the bait because a raccoon will come into the bait, and he can hear, he can smell 6-7 times better than you can.
Yeah.
And when he perks his ears up, he always looks one direction, then all of a sudden he just is gone. He just takes off. You know there's a bear in the vicinity. I mean, it gives you kind of a warning when they're coming out.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you can judge, you know, which way he's coming from. The coon's looking down that way, he can hear. I mean, the animals tell you a lot that are around the bait if you sit there long enough and wait.
Yeah. Yeah, the last 2 deer I shot, both were pre-warned by blue jays.
Yeah.
And
coons and squirrels, if you learn to read both of those, and you've got them on your baits, you can almost always tell when you got one coming. And the thing about baiting is it's even, I mean, deer hunting, if you see a deer with horns, I mean, basically people are shooting it. This way, over bait, it gives you a chance to look at each animal. There should be no reason that you should shoot a sow with cubs.
no.
They're coming to a bait. If you watch them long enough, there should be absolutely no reason. I mean, there's people out there that say, well, I didn't see him. You know what? You're not in that big of a hurry. You owe it to me. The way I've always looked at it, if you shoot a sow with this year's cubs, instead of killing 1 bear, you've killed 3.
Yep.
Like I said, we try to shoot 100-pounders and over.
How do you judge the size of a bear?
There's 2 or 3 ways. The size of his ears, comparison to his head. If he's got really tall ears, normally it's a younger bear.
Okay.
Ears, little stubby ears, means his head's filled out. He's a more of a mature bear. A lot of times you can tell by the length of how tall he sits. I mean, if he's really narrow, if he's got like a real skinny body and it looks like he's all legs, that's normally a juvenile bear that hasn't filled out.
Okay.
If you're really close, you can sometimes see the male, you can see a wisp of hair in between the male's legs. That will be, I mean, pretty pronounced. But I mean, you've got to be, I mean, it's got to be really close to see that. But mostly it's body size. Leg-wise, ears. Ears is the best judgment for me. And if you've got real pointy ears that are seem like he's got 2 or 3 inch ears that are hanging up.
Yeah.
He's more than likely a smaller bear. Big bears, their head fills out first, and then their body goes after.
Kind of like kids and feet.
Yeah, the track that you just saw on the road, if that bear comes in, he's going to look like a big ball of jelly. His whole body's going to be kind of rolling when he comes into the bait. There'll be no mistaking when he comes in. And like as we
Okay, Chris is going in to refill the bait bucket now. Also, he had a trail timer set up to tell him what time a bear came to the bait first the previous day. So that will give us an idea what time the bear are coming to the bait.
6:28.
$6.28.
6:28. Last evening. I think we're all set. Thank you.
Howdy, I'm Maynard Stanley, and you're watching Maine Woods and Waters. Today we're up in Holton, Maine, way out in the boonies, actually outside of Holton. We're actually off from the main dirt road. We went almost 3 miles deep down an old wood road, and we're up in a tree stand right now, and we're going to hopefully see if we can bag a bear. We've been invited up here by Chris Eastham, and he is the owner of Wild Country Guide Service, and I think we're going to have a good hunt. It is absolutely beautiful up here, and Chris has been extremely helpful and providing us with all the information we needed to get started and to come up. He's been a terrific host. So hopefully I'm going to get my bear with my old trusty black powder rifle. And he's been telling us about bear that have been running anywhere from around 100 pounds to maybe 350 pounds that have been coming here to this area. So I'm going to get my face mask, my face shield on, and we'll get started with the hunt. If you look at the top center of the picture, you'll see the white round bait bucket, and you can see all the way around the bucket. There's been squirrels running in and out of the bucket, lugging off the bait. Okay, there's the first bear. Now he hears something in the woods, He probably hears another bigger bear. These bear are very easily intimidated by another bear. Okay, right up over the bait bucket near the top of the screen, if you watch there, right there, there is the second bear, the bear that probably drove off the first one. He's pacing back and forth, just back in the woods where you can't quite see him. Okay, now, okay, here's the next bear. He's just inside the woods. You can just see some movement over in the bushes on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay, he's starting to move a little bit. He's starting to move. I can just make him out inside the bushes and the leaves. There he is. He's coming out to the bait. This is the third bear. There he is. You can see him good now. Right there, I've decided I'm going to harvest this bear. I've got to wait for the best time. I can't move while he's watching me. He went down, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's right there.
I'm gonna reload. Quite an adventure, huh?
Yeah.
This is my first bear hunt, and this has been some exciting. To be out in the wild. We're about 2.5, maybe 3 miles out in the woods, and we're, I guess, just a few miles away from the Canadian border. We were expecting the bear to come down this other path. There's a well-beaten path that comes right down this road, and we were expecting the bear to come and turn and go into the bait, but he didn't. He came from in behind the bait and circled, and he was standing just inside the woods there. He's been standing in there for, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. When the bear was here earlier, there was another bear, I think it was a bear, looked like he was kind of a blondish color, way back in the woods, and it spooked him, so he took off, and evidently he came back again. I don't know, I'm still up in the tree. I'm still I'm still shaking from excitement. This has been, this is really a thrilling hunting experience. I know he's not a big trophy bear, but he's my first bear, and I got him with my black powder rifle, you know, and this is a lot of fun. You know, if we'd seen this bear out in a field, with nothing to judge his size, you wouldn't know if he was 50 pounds or 300 pounds. But knowing the size of the bucket and being able to see the bear came out, we were able to watch him, check his size, see if he was a size that we were going to be happy with. If this had been a smaller bear, we wouldn't have taken it, or if it had been a sow with cubs. Of course, we wouldn't be taking any sow with cubs. This, I think, is like a 2-year-old bear, and he's a good size for harvesting, and hopefully it's going to be good eating. I'm more of a meat hunter than I am a trophy hunter, so that's what's he's headed for the stew pot. That's where he's headed, and maybe another time we'll try for a little bit bigger one. Maybe you'll get the next one, Norma, huh?
Well, you never know.
This morning, we're just waiting for our guide, Chris, to show up. He's gonna. I've got to get my gear and camera stuff down under the tree here, so there's no point in rushing things. And anytime you shoot a game animal, whether it's a deer or a bear, it's a good rule of thumb, after you shoot, wait at least 30 minutes. Don't go chasing. Now this bear dropped like a sack of potatoes, and up here in Aroostook County, you can see a sack of potatoes drop. And he went down. He just went down in a heap. But still, give them 30 minutes, whether it's a deer or a bear. If they run off a little bit, they may not go very far, and if you chase them, they can run 3 or 4 times as far, and you could end up losing your game. So it's always a good choice to wait. Make sure the animal's dead, even though he's maybe not a huge bear. If he wasn't totally dead and you approached him too quickly, you could be in trouble. They could inflict some serious damage to you. So we're just going to wait our 30 minutes, and when our guide Chris gets here, we're going to get the stuff out of the tree stands here, and we'll go over and get some pictures with the bear. Oh, it's still exciting. My first bear. Thank you, Chris.
Welcome. Not a problem. Not a problem.
I'll have to get some more pictures, but what a beautiful cow.
A little bigger than I thought he was. There. Good shot.
That's where it came out.
Good shot. Definitely
Should
good
be a
shot.
hole right over here.
It's right there.
Yep.
Right at the base of the neck. Come look, Jared. Now, Mark.
Yeah.
We'll run clear up into here, and they'll have a lighter front.
This was all orange.
He has got one beautiful coat.
He does.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.